The Zaltharan hunting vessel. Death's whisper drifted silently through the asteroid field, its biometallic hull shifting between deep purples and blacks to match the cosmic void. Inside the ship's predatory bridge, Kethavar studied the holographic display with 6 unblinking eyes, each one focused on a different aspect of his prey. "The human vessel approaches," hissed his second-in-command, mandibles clicking with anticipation. Single occupant as expected. Kethavar's chitinous fingers drummed against his command throne. For 300 cycles he had been the apex predator of this sector, the terror that made entire civilizations flee at the mere whisper of his name. His trophy wall displayed the skulls of 1,000 different species, each one representing a hunt that had lasted days, sometimes weeks. The thrill was in the chase, the fear, the desperate attempts at escape before the inevitable end. But humans had proven disappointing. This one carries the designation Marcus Chen, his weapons officer reported, reading from the intercepted transmission logs. Cargo hauler, Class 7 freighter. Standard human, nothing special. Kethavar's primary eyes narrowed. Nothing special. That's what they always said about humans, and yet something about them gnawed at his hunter's instincts. In the past year, 17 of his hunting parties had encountered humans. 17 times they had returned with stories that made no sense. "Sir, the human vessel has detected our presence," his sensor operator announced. They're not running." The Zaltharan crew exchanged confused glances. Every species ran when they detected a hunting vessel. It was the natural order: predator and prey, hunter and hunted. Fear was the currency of the chase. On the main screen, the human freighter Lucky Strike continued its steady course, neither accelerating nor changing direction. Through the enhanced sensors, they could see into the cockpit where a single human sat slouched in his pilot's chair, feet propped up on the console, consuming what appeared to be some sort of hot beverage. "Hail them," Kethavar ordered, his voice carrying the harmonics that had terrified countless beings across the galaxy. The communication channel crackled to life and the human's face appeared on screen. He looked tired, with dark circles under his eyes and stubble covering his jaw. He took another sip of his drink and glanced at the camera with mild curiosity. "Yeah?" the human said, covering a yawn with his free hand. Kethavar rose from his throne, his imposing 3-meter frame casting shadows across the bridge. His ceremonial hunting claws extended, their razor edges catching the light. When he spoke, his words carried the weight of terror itself. "I am Kethavar the Soul Render, destroyer of hope, the final nightmare. You have entered my hunting grounds, little prey. Your death will be—" "Dude," the human interrupted, yawning again, "it's like way too early for this dramatic villain stuff. Can we maybe schedule this for after lunch? I've been hauling cargo for 18 straight hours." The bridge fell silent. Kethavar's mandibles hung open in confusion. In 3 centuries of hunting, no prey had ever asked to reschedule their own death. What? Kethavar managed. Marcus Chen scratched his head and looked around his cockpit. "Look, I get it. You're the big, scary hunter guy, very intimidating. Love the whole destroyer of hope thing, solid brand identity. But honestly, I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep and enough caffeine to kill a horse. Can we do this tomorrow? Or maybe next Tuesday?" This is not how prey behaves," Kethavar's second-in-command whispered. "Prey?" Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Oh, you're one of those hunter species. Cool. My buddy Jake got hunted by some lizard guys last month. Said it was actually pretty fun once they got past all the posturing." "Fun?" Kethavar felt his world tilting. "I have killed thousands. I am the apex predator of this sector." "That's nice," Marcus said, genuinely seeming to mean it. "Everybody needs a hobby. Mine's model trains. You should see my setup. Got this whole mountain diorama with little tunnels and everything." He yawned again.
So, if you're gonna blow me up, can you make it quick?"
"I've got a delivery deadline on Kepler Station." Kethavar stared at the screen. The human was completely relaxed, showing no signs of fear, no desperate pleading, no attempt to bargain or flee. He was treating a life-or-death encounter like a minor scheduling inconvenience. "You're not afraid," Kethavar said, more statement than question. "Of you? Nah, man. You seem okay. Little intense, maybe, but my ex-wife was way scarier than you." Marcus finished his coffee and stretched. "Besides, what's the worst that could happen? You kill me? At least I'd finally get some sleep." Something in Kethavar's predatory mind broke. The thrill of the hunt required fear, required desperation, required the sweet terror of prey knowing it was about to die. This human was offering nothing but mild inconvenience and sleepy indifference. "I don't understand," Kethavar said quietly. "What's to understand?" Marcus shrugged. "Life's too short to stress about every wannabe apex predator you meet. I mean, look at you guys. You've got this whole elaborate setup, the scary ship, the dramatic speeches, the glowing weapons. That's a lot of effort just to kill one tired trucker. But you're supposed to run. You're supposed to be terrified. Why? Because you're bigger than me? Dude, I've seen bigger things at the truck stop on Mars. Because you've got more weapons, my insurance covers acts of space piracy. Because you've killed thousands?" Marcus yawned once more. "Congratulations, I guess. Want a cookie?" Kethavar looked around his bridge at his confused crew, then back at the utterly unbothered human. 300 years of hunting, of being the ultimate predator, and he was being defeated by a tired man who just wanted to finish his delivery route. I don't know what to do," Kethavar admitted. "Tell you what," Marcus said, checking his watch. "I'm going to jump to hyperspace in about 30 seconds. If you want to chase me, that's cool, just try to keep up. If not, maybe consider a career change. I hear food service is nice." The human reached for his controls, and for the first time in 3 centuries, Kethavar, the Soul Render, destroyer of hope, did absolutely nothing. The Lucky Strike jumped to hyperspace, leaving behind one very confused apex predator, and a crew that was beginning to question their life choices. "Sir?" His second-in-command ventured carefully. "Orders?" Kethavar slumped in his throne, his hunting claws retracting in defeat. "I think," he said slowly, "I need to reconsider my approach to humans." Somewhere in hyperspace, Marcus Chen finished the last of his coffee and smiled. Another day, another confused alien. Humans, he reflected, we're pretty good at this whole galactic thing.